I'm not gonna tell anyone. This will be our little secret. Deal? The world's been waiting for something like this.
I'm Sharronda Williams, and welcome to Prime Video Recaps. Welcome to Prime Video Recaps, where I will be recapping some of our favorite Prime Video original titles for you to catch up on before binging a new season. With Season 2 of Outer Range premiering on May 16th, I thought you might need a little reminder of what happened in Season 1. Outer Range focuses on the Abbott family, led by rancher Royal Abbott, who discovers a giant hole in the west pasture of his family ranch. As Royal and his wife Cecilia try to keep their family together, will they overcome Royal's dark secret? Season 1, Episode 1 opens with a loud bang, as we see Royal Abbott carrying a dead body over his shoulders and throwing it into a bottomless hole. The timeline then goes back to 3 days earlier, with Royal getting ready to start his day. His wife Cecilia Abbott tells him that she has had her reoccurring dream again, about their missing daughter-in-law Rebecca stepping out of the dark, and their granddaughter Amy and eldest son Perry running into her arms with them crying for joy. Royal tends to the ranch, and when he returns, Cecilia is cooking for the family. Royal asks them if they heard something, but they haven't, and he realizes that there has been a huge lapse of time from when he first left that morning. The family attends the rodeo to watch their youngest son Rhett bull ride, but he doesn't last long enough to make it to the next round. When the family returns home, Royal hears the same noise outside he heard earlier. Neighbor and rival Wayne Tillerson calls the Abbott house and warns Cecilia that something is coming, but she dismisses him, thinking he's drunk. Royal gets a visit from a young poet by the name of Autumn. She asks Royal if she can camp on the ranch, and he agrees. The Abbott men are visited by the Tillerson boys, Billy, Luke, and Trevor, and they serve Royal with a notice saying that his fences are on their land. If Royal doesn't move them in time, he will be fined $80,000. Royal tells Red and Perry he will take care of it, but for now, they must find the 2 cattle they lost. The Abbott men separate, and Royal finds a large deep hole on his land. He throws a rock inside to see how deep it is, but never hears the rock hit the bottom. He sticks his hand into the hole and has a vision, then quickly takes his hand out. When he returns home, Deputy Sheriff Joy is there to tell the family that the FBI is no longer going to search for their missing daughter-in-law, Perry's wife Rebecca. It has been 9 months since she went missing, so her case is on low priority. Royal returns to the hole and tries to fill it with dirt and cover it, but everything continues to fall into the hole. As Royal yells in frustration, a bison appears out of nowhere with 2 arrows in it. Royal checks on Autumn to tell her to stay on a certain part of the land, as he doesn't want her to discover the bottomless hole. Autumn asks Royal what his price is to sell the family ranch. Red and Perry go to the local bar for drinks. Cecilia tells Royal that she thinks Rebecca is gone forever. Red beats up the oldest Tillerson son, Trevor, who was trying to fight Perry. Trevor tells Perry the Tillerson family is going to take everything the Abbott family's got in order to get their land back. Perry hits Trevor, and Trevor dies from his injuries. Perry and Red put Trevor's body in the car, and Red asks Perry what he wants him to do. Does he want them to take the body to the hospital or go to the sheriff's station? As they are driving, they see the same bison with 2 arrows in it that Royal saw near their hole. Royal sees the boys pull into the barn and Trevor's body in the truck bed. He asks them if Trevor's brothers know of his death, and they say no. Royal tells Perry that he and Rhett will take care of Trevor's body. Royal tells Rhett to burn their shirts and clean the truck. Back at the bar, Trevor's brother Luke finds Trevor's belt buckle on the ground with blood on it. Luke and Billy head to the Abbott house and ask Perry where Rhett is and if they've seen Trevor. They see his bruised hand, and Perry says a horse stepped on it. Luke and Billy check outside and follow Rhett's tire tracks to the barn. They bust in the barn, but the truck bed is filled with hay. The Tillerson men see fresh dirt and race off to see who is out riding this late. The men almost catch up to Royal, who is carrying Trevor's body but throws it into the dark hole. Autumn sees him dump the body in and asks what he is doing. She asks who else knows about the hole, and he says no one. Autumn says she won't tell anyone about it and then pushes Royal into the hole. Episode 2 opens with Autumn in shock about what she has done. She takes Royal's shirt from the wired fence. The Tillerson boys go back to the house, but Cecilia answers the door and scolds them for causing a scene and sends them home. She then asks her boys where their father is. Royal wakes up in the rain, laying in the middle of a field. He returns home and they ask him to fill them in on what happened. The boys ask if Autumn saw anything and he lies, assuring them that she doesn't know. Cecilia notices that Royal has a gunshot wound on his leg, and she asks who shot him. He tells her that Luke shot him in the leg. Deputy Sheriff Joy is summoned by the Tillerson boys about their missing brother. Rhett goes to visit his crush Maria at work, and they have lunch together. Maria tells Rhett that the bull rider that placed higher than him was disqualified, so he is back in the competition. Royal's lawyer advises him to give Tillerson the land, but he refuses. Instead, Royal goes to pay Wayne Tillerson a visit. Billy lets us know, don't mess with him at karaoke because he got pipes.
Stay in my arms if you dare, or must I imagine you there?
Royal sees a business card from a director of geological science and pockets it. Royal offers Wayne a counteroffer that will give him some land, but not on the west pasture where the hole is. Wayne won't budge. Amy sees Autumn out on the trail, and Autumn shows her a symbol she keeps drawing. Amy tells her that it looks like their family brand. Autumn is shocked when Amy tells her that Royal was acting weird that morning. Royal says a very interesting prayer over dinner, and Amy tells them that she has met Autumn, and Royal tells them not to interact with her. He also tells the family that they are moving the cattle from the west pasture. Autumn sees Royal checking her stuff and asks what her real name is. She asks Royal if he remembers anything before the age of 9, and he asks why. She tells him that before coming to the Abbott family ranch, she didn't have any childhood memories before the age 9. She asks him what he saw when he went into the hole. Royal flashes back to the moment where he saw lights with military guards standing by, and he also saw people from around town by the large hole, including Autumn. In his vision, Cecilia walked up to him and he asked her if it was their land, and she said not anymore, and he died in her arms almost 2 years ago. She whispered in his ears to run. Luke charges at Royal and shoots him in the leg. Royal jumps back into the hole. Episode 3 starts with Amy asking Royal why his leg was bleeding. He tells her he cut it on the fence, but she doesn't believe that. Deputy Sheriff Joy stops into the local convenience store and notices someone is there with a gun. She apprehends and arrests him. He tells her that she needs to be worried about the random people disappearing in town, not him. Wayne tells Luke to offer the Abbott family $1 million from the west pasture land. Luke tells Billy he won't make the offer to the Abbotts. Autumn heads into town to pick up her anti-epileptic medication. Billy picks up Amy and asks her if Mother has Trevor. Cecilia thinks she sees Rebecca driving in town. Joy finds Rhett at the rodeo and tells him that his blood was found on Trevor's belt buckle. That doesn't stop Rhett from taking that #1 spot at the event. Rhett and Maria get closer. Rhett decides to take a leak on the wrong cart and is taken into custody. Joy lets him go since he did so well at the rodeo. Before she does, she tells him that she is going to start questioning everyone who was at the bar that night Trevor disappeared. Rhett tells Joy about the scuffle and him giving Trevor a bloody nose before he walks away. Royal arrives to pick up Rhett from jail, and Royal tells Rhett more about his childhood and that his dad died but not his mom. He ran away after his dad died and never went back. Up until this time, he had always told his family both his parents died when he was young. He also told them that he had a younger sister as well. He then shows Rhett that he took the belt buckle from the evidence drawer in Joy's office. Royal disposes of the evidence by throwing the buckle into the hole. Royal asks Autumn why she can't remember what happened to her before the age of 9. She says she had an accident and when she woke up in the hospital, she could only remember her name. He asks Autumn why she pushed him into the hole, and she says she wanted to know what would happen. She asks what happened to him in the hole, and he says he went to a different time. They both agree to not tell anyone else about it, and when he shakes her hand, an entire mountain disappears. Joy also sees this as she is driving back to town. When Royal releases Autumn's hand, the mountain reappears again. Joy arrives back at the station and is notified that they have been getting calls about a mountain disappearing. Luke storms in saying that he knows Rhett's blood being on Trevor's belt buckle. Amy discovers Trevor's dead body on the trail, and she runs home to tell her family she found Trevor's body. Joy notices the buckle is gone, and Royal calls Joy and tells her that Amy found Trevor's body as episode 3 comes to an end. Episode 4 goes back 9 months into the past when one of Wayne's workers brought him an unusual rock that came from the Abbott's west pasture. Wayne says he saw this rock before as a child. Back in the present day, Joy is trying to figure out who took Trevor's belt buckle. Joy thinks Royal may have taken it. The police arrive on the Abbott's ranch, and Royal shows them where the body is on the mountain that briefly disappeared. Joy questions Amy with her family about what she saw. She also asks Amy about Billy and Luke showing up at their house. Amy tells Joy that everyone was there except her Uncle Rhett. Perry tells Joy that Rhett was with a woman that night. Joy tells Royal about people saying the mountain disappeared and then asks him if he took anything from her office. Joy wants to catch Rhett in a lie about his whereabouts the night of Trevor's disappearance, So Joy has Deputy Matt ask Rhett about where he was the night of Trevor's disappearance, since he doesn't know yet they found Trevor's body. Perry is trying to call Rhett to warn him about the police, but he isn't answering. As Rhett is about to finally answer Perry's call, Deputy Matt tries to stop him. Rhett answers the phone as Matt is asking him where he was the night of Trevor's disappearance. On the phone, Perry tells Rhett to tell Matt he was with a girl, and he does. When Matt asks who the girl is, Maria says it's her, even though she wasn't with Rhett that night. Cecilia asks Royal how the body ended up on the mountain, and he says he doesn't know. Cecilia confronts him about withholding information from her, and she walks away in frustration. Joy questions Maria, then Perry, then Rhett. Joy is trying to catch them all in a lie with intense questioning. Royal comes in with a family lawyer before things can go any further. Patricia, Wayne's ex-wife, shows up following the news that her son has died. She asks Wayne if he thinks the Abbott boys killed Trevor. Wayne tells her about getting the West pasture land, and she tells him she's going to find out who murdered her son. She goes to the coroner's office, and Joy tells her she can't be present during the coroner's report. The coroner says it is strange that he was only dead 10 hours when they found his body. The Tillersons hold a funeral, and Billy gets to show the town his vocals. Patricia suddenly opens Trevor's casket during the funeral. She tells Luke it was Perry that killed Trevor. Brett tries to talk to Maria, but she tells him she doesn't want to get wrapped up in his family drama. Autumn and Royal get into an intense poker game, with Royal betting his West pasture land for the rock around her neck. Royal wins the bet and gets her necklace. Wayne drives to the Abbott's West pasture and discovers the dark hole. Royal finds him there and they get into a fight. Royal knocks him down, and then Wayne knocks Royal unconscious. Episode 5 opens with Wayne going home and telling everyone he found the hole. He then has a flashback from when he was a kid and passed out. Cecilia gets a call letting her know that Wayne had a stroke. Cecilia catches Autumn breaking into their house to get her necklace back. Joy is continuing her investigation, and an eyewitness identifies Perry as the one who was fighting with Trevor. Royal goes to the university to visit the director of geological sciences, whose card he found at Wayne's house. He hands her the necklace to examine. She tells him the outside of the necklace is amber and asks if she can study it. Royal remembers her from his premonition and abruptly leaves. Cecilia goes to prayer group, and they all stop by the Tillersons. Let's just say Patricia was not happy to see her there. Joy thinks Perry might have had something to do with Trevor's death and possibly Rebecca's disappearance. Perry runs into Autumn into town and takes her to a party. Rhett and Maria see each other at the bar and get intimate with one another. Royal takes the necklace and smashes it and has another premonition seeing himself die in Cecilia's arms, and then Autumn sees him and calls out to him from the future. In the beginning of episode 6, Autumn asks Royal to give her the necklace back, and he tells her he destroyed it and nothing happened. She tells him that she thinks the minerals from the rock in the hole are tied to time travel. Royal tells her to stay away from his family or he will kill her. He burns Autumn's tent and everything in it. Joy tells the prosecutor, Kirkland Miller, that she is ready to make an arrest in Trevor's murder case. She thinks Rhett and Perry killed him. After she presents the information, he tells her she doesn't have enough evidence to connect them. Autumn is hiking her way back to the Abbott Ranch when she comes in contact with a bear. Maria tells Rhett that she can't be with him because of his attachment to his family. She tells him she knows he is covering for Perry. Patricia and Luke talk to the family lawyer, and he tells them that Wayne wants to leave everything to Billy. Patricia leaves for a few days, and she and Luke decide not to tell Billy about the will. Autumn shows Billy the dark hole. Billy tells his father that he was right about the West pasture. Autumn goes to Perry to try to convince him to turn against his father. She also cuts herself to make it seem like Royal did it. Perry tells the family he is going to confess, and Rhett and Perry get into a fight, with Amy hurting her head in the process. Episode 7 goes back into the past when Perry and Rhett were young kids. Perry hits one of the Tillerson boys at the skating rink. Perry asks his dad if something is wrong with him because he gets angry quickly, and his dad lets him know he struggles with anger too. In present day, Joy is questioning Perry. She asks if he dragged Trevor up the mountain by himself, and he says yes. She asks if he knows where Rebecca is, and he says no, but he doesn't think she is gone. Bail for Perry is set at $500,000. Royal and Cecilia have to put up the ranch as collateral. Perry asks Royal if he knows what happened to Rebecca, and he says no, but Perry doesn't believe him. Billy tells Autumn he had a vision where he ingested the minerals from the hole and that she is going to take over the Abbott Ranch. She asks him to stop Royal from trying to stop her. Autumn cuts the Abbott family symbol into his chest. Royal's car breaks down and Billy comes to his rescue. Billy pulls a gun on him and tells him to leave Autumn alone. Billy tells him that something bad is going to happen to his granddaughter. Luke tries to kill his dad, Wayne, but Billy walks in on him and they get into a fight. Joy visits Frank, a local townsperson, to check on him, and she sees the symbol on the rock, which matches the symbol Autumn has been drawing. Perry has Royal go riding with him to the hole that contains the dark hole. Royal tells him the story of why he ran away. He was hunting with his dad and shot him by mistake. He couldn't bear to tell his mother and sister what he'd done, so he ran away. As he was running, he saw a hole form and jumped into it. This took place in 1886, and when he came back out of the hole, it was 1968. He found his way to the Abbott Ranch, and the family took him in. After Royal tells Perry the story, Perry jumps into the dark hole, and it closes up. The season 1 finale opens with Billy telling Luke that the hole is gone and that he knows Wayne was always going to leave him everything. He tells Luke that as long as he doesn't try to kill their dad again, he will leave him with everything. Autumn is trying to get her family to send her money as Royal pops up. Autumn is able to hide from him, but she is spiraling out of control. She goes to the bank to get a money transfer, and she and Maria get into it as she brings a gun inside. Cecilia is trying to find Perry before they lose the ranch. Royal goes to Rhett's rodeo competition to tell him that he may not see him again, and that there is something he needs him to find on the land. Rhett tells him he is leaving and he doesn't care about the ranch. Royal gets a call from Autumn and tells him that she's in town and she knows how this ends. Rhett falls off the bull and is now in the last place of the competition. Amy wanders off in the crowd by herself. Amy sees her mom Rebecca and she asks her where she has been. Rebecca tells Amy she had to hide and she will explain everything, but right now she has to come with her. Cecilia asks the police to put a report out for Amy, believing she's missing, but they say they can't. Rhett rides again and finishes in first place. Maria is there to cheer him on and he tells her that he loves her and wants to leave town and start over together. Joy has found herself in a different time period. Luke is digging to find the dark hole, but he opens up another part of it as bison stampede out of the hole. Royal finds Autumn in town and they get into a shootout. Autumn and Billy hop in their truck and Royal hops in and they begin a car chase while still shooting at one another. Royal shoots Billy and the truck flips over. A bison stampede comes and tramples Autumn as Royal takes cover. Maria and Rhett get caught in a stampede and crash the truck. Royal gets to check in on Autumn, and when he touches her, he realizes that Autumn is Amy all grown up, as she has the same scar on her head that Amy had from a childhood injury. He goes home to tell Cecilia the truth as season 1 comes to a shocking end. And that's a wrap on season 1 of Outer Range. Be sure to watch Outer Range season 2 on May 16th, only on Prime Video.